Hello. Don't look at don't look at that fake schedule. That's the came with Streamlabs. Don't look at that. That's not a real schedule. Anyways, hello. Today we're going to be taking a look at Adios. This game does not run in full screen, which is funny. I mean, I'm sure it does. It's just ultra wide monitor. I should kind of want a different monitor, but anyway, I heard of this game through Castle Super Beast. It sounds interesting. It is a little less than 2 hours long, apparently, so we're not gonna be here for a while. But the premise of it sounded interesting enough to me that I wanted to take a gander at it and see what that looks like. I'm gonna see how close I can get the microphone, maybe. No. Okay. Guess I don't need to hide subtitles. Sorry. Game audio for me was a little quiet. I wish there was a way for me to check and see what the stream sounds like for you guys, cause I don't have a way to do so. I'm sure I'll figure it out. It's not a very complicated game. But anyway, adios. Oh.
I can't do this anymore.
What?
This.
What, mornings?
No. All of this.
You mean the deal?
Afraid so.
What do you mean? You need better pay, different hours?
No, nothing like that. I'm just, done with this.
Uh-huh. Okay. You wanna...
Yeah, sure.
Here you go. So, you're done, huh?
Yep.
You do understand what that means, right?
Yeah, I do.
I don't think you do.
I do.
And you still think you can quit?
It's a free country.
This isn't that kind of job.
I know. But, all the same, I am done.
Nothing I can do to change your mind.
Now you are welcome to try.
It's Troy Baker.
Well, let's go get some coffee. Talk things over. Come on.
Just realized I never explained the premise of it, which, at this point, I don't know. Maybe I should leave it.
Smells delicious as always.
Sadie was the real cook.
Hey, don't sell yourself short. Not much that's better than your home-cooked eggs.
Hope you don't mind, I left out the bell peppers this time.
Can't stand them.
Sadie always liked peppers, though, so I put up with them.
Not to change the subject, but how long we been doing this for, you think?
15 years, just about.
Summer of '78. Why'd we meet? What was it?
Needed the scratch.
What did you need the scratch for again?
Wasn't too popular with the folks back home. Had to make ends meet.
And Bill needed surgery you couldn't afford.
Yes.
Well, here's what I remember. I had a problem that night, and Jimmy was trying to help me solve that problem when who should come in through that door but you?
Jimmy was always bragging about connections back home. I thought he could help.
Jimmy knew we could help each other, so he called up Tony. We agreed, made a deal. We all agreed. Ugh. Anyone ever tell you you're no good at making coffee?
Every time you visit.
Thought you'd have got it better by now.
Well, Sadie made the coffee. I made the bacon.
It's good bacon. You know, when I was a kid, I thought pigs were all pink with curly tails.
Yorkshires are. Mine are red wattle. American breed. Not a lot of them out there, you know.
That's so.
Mm-hmm. Always thought it'd be nice, you know, to raise pigs that was different. I had some Yorkies way back. Must have been, I don't know, before the service.
Long time ago.
Yeah, I'm an old man.
You and me both. So why the Waddles? Huh, funny name.
Like I said, American breed. Nearly went extinct. Thought I'd do my part to keep them alive. And that tastes good.
You aren't wrong. You know, the other day, I was reading the paper.
Look at you, an intellectual.
Yeah, maybe. Anyways, I read that pigs were as smart as us. You believe that?
I suppose so.
How smart do you reckon?
Smart as you or me.
Really? That smart?
We ain't that smart.
Do you think the pigs know?
Know what?
That they're food?
Oh, pigs don't think like that.
How do you know?
'Cause I know pigs. Pigs ain't like us. Well, sure, they're smart. They eat, they sleep, but they do not plan. They don't think about the future.
And I suppose you do?
Every man does.
I think I'm just about finished up here. What do you say I accompany you today?
Hey, Jose. We're playing a new game today.
How do you reckon?
Well, my visits are always so short. Figured I could help you out with some chores. Maybe figure out what's going on with your little sports truck in the garage.
As long as you're okay with shoveling manure first. What about your sidekick?
Protege. When I retire, he'll be the man you'll be dealing with. Good guy. Smart. Discreet. Ambitious.
Like you, I guess. But, listen. I told you already. I'm quitting.
We'll see.
Oh, he's gonna follow me. Yes, we're playing a new game. It's called Adios. I never explained what the premise of the game was, and at this point, I feel like it's better off this way. Just kind of feel around and try to find out what the game's about. It's not very long. It's about an hour long, so shouldn't be too much of a time commitment, I think.
Huh. I've always wondered what was in this shack.
Have you now?
Figured it was just some old shack at first, but every time I asked what was in there, you haven't been forthcoming.
I have not, no.
Tried to take a look in the window once.
Did you now? Ta-da! Beautiful, right?
Pop machines. Here I figured you had a deep, dark secret.
We have a deep, dark secret. This here is one of my hobbies.
What, collecting them?
Well, sure, I collect them, I guess, but that's not really the point.
Is there a point to any hobby?
It depends. What I meant was that it's no fun to just collect them. I fix them up. That's where the real fun is.
Makes sense.
You look like, You look like you want to ask me something.
Why
Oops.
pop machine?
Shit,
I
my
like a
bad.
good soda pop.
And the jump from that to having a bunch of machines in a blacked out shed?
We used to work at the town library after school, and somebody thought it would be a good idea to put in a pop machine. 50, 51, thereabouts. Anyways, it was cantankerous, as these things tended to be, especially back then. And Mrs. Olson, she was the librarian at the time. Knew I was handy, asked me to fix it.
And you've been fixing pop machines ever since?
I gave him the soda.
Not exactly. Didn't think much of it for years until after some time I got back from overseas, and I was at this junkyard, and I saw a Kruger Schmidt. And
A what?
a Kruger Schmidt. Yeah, I jumble the words, I know, probably French or something.
It sounds German.
German. Yeah, that makes sense. Anyways, it looked so dilapidated that I just had to take it home and fix it. Of course, you know how the wife is. She just about threw a hissy fit. But I brought it to this here shed and got to work. Fixed her up real nice,
Then what?
Had myself a nice pop. And then I sold it and figured that was all there was to it. But then there was an auction in town and someone was selling a pair of Vendos. Well, I figured, hey, I can fix that too.
And it snowballed from there.
That it did.
But why?
It relaxes me.
I don't know. Soda machines. It's an unusual thing for a man to want to fix. Don't people get paid to fix them?
It is unusual, but when the missus and I would get into fights or when things was bad or I was anxious, well, I don't know. Yeah. Sadie's sister, when she passed, told me that it was all right to cry, that it wasn't weakness, that it was okay. And I remember sitting there in that empty living room with everyone murmuring and telling me how sorry they were, and I didn't feel like I needed to cry.
Didn't you miss her?
Of course I did. Still do, but I don't know. Not everybody needs to cry. I don't need to cry. I don't get in that way, you know? Weakness? No. I don't know what she was talking about, weakness. Crying never felt weak to me. That's just not how I am.
Can't remember the last time I cried. Maybe that movie about the boy and his dogs.
Oh, always cry over that one. Dogs are good. Innocent. Yeah, when a dog dies, that always moves me to tears.
Yeah.
But Josie insisted. Then she kept insisting. Then, I don't know. I think she got offended I wouldn't cry, as if she loved Sadie more than me. And she made me feel like I was something wrong. Of course, that wasn't true. There wasn't nothing wrong with me. I just didn't. I wasn't like that. It wasn't what I needed. It wasn't how I needed to grieve. This is how I grieve. This right here. When I got a problem, I fix it. And when I fix it, I fix a little part of me. And I don't know how or why, but it's healing. It's a healing thing, and that's why a man's got to have a hobby.
Sorry,
No, it's all right. I figured, you know. I figured if someone's got to know, this is my quiet little hobby. A thing I do to help me work out my worries.
well, it looks like you fixed this one up real nice.
I'm proud of it. Proud of all of them. But I'm proud of this one most.
Thank you for taking the time to show me.
There's another reason I wanted to show this to you.
What's that?
If you want it, it's yours.
What am I gonna do with a pop machine?
Well, grab yourself a nice, refreshing drink of soda every so often, you big dummy.
Wait, I couldn't possibly.
Please. A little memento of our time together.
Oh, come on, a memento. Let's keep this train rolling. We can work something out.
You come on back by, pick up the soda machine. Take it home with you. Or don't. If you really got no use for it, I won't be offended.
I'll think it over. What's next?
Oh, there's straight up a list, huh? Move the mirror, milk the goats, feed the horse, throw horseshoes, check the shed. Oh, I should have did that last. I assume these are done in no particular order. It's closest. Door. I can jump. Oh god.
Why horseshoes?
Well, why not horseshoe?
Doesn't it feel stereotypical?
Well, look around you. My nearest neighbor lives, half a mile down the road. It ain't the city. We don't have nightclubs and pool halls to go hang out at.
Pool halls? What is this, 1890? This is 1992, friend. We got shopping malls for teenagers, restaurants, clubs, whatever. But pool halls? I don't even know if they had those when I was a kid.
Uh-huh. Time doesn't pass out here as quickly, I suppose. No need for all that, stimulation.
Ah, so you play horseshoes.
Or read a good book? Develop photos you took for yourself? Go fly fishing?
It sounds idyllic. Quaint, but idyllic. And you just want to give up this home-cooked paradise?
Yeah.
That's lonely, too.
We could get you a nice place in the city.
Never was one for crowds.
Thought you said you were lonely.
I'd be just as lonely in a crowd. Sadie, nobody else could really see me, understand what I was.
How do you figure? What?
After Saigon, when I got back, all these people were hugging their loved ones or protesting or whatever, and I don't know. I never felt more alone in all my life. I was home. I should have been happy, and I wasn't.
Well, it wasn't a popular war. You lost friends too, right?
Yeah, but when I got home, it was dark, and there was Sadie waiting for me. Porch light like a halo around her head, and I knew I wasn't alone anymore.
So you came back to your high school sweetheart.
I thought he'd have married her by then. I didn't think she'd wait for me.
Why not? You're a handsome guy. I bet all sorts wanted you, especially back then. Women love a man in uniform.
You see that house on the hill?
What, the burned out one? I always wondered what happened there.
Gary Gordon, of the Gordon family. Went to high school with us. But, well, most of us were farm folk. Sadie, her dad, was the county judge, so for us that's pretty high society. The Gordons owned a lot of land, and all that passed to Gary after his ma died. In high school, he'd been our quarterback after his pa paid off the school, but he wasn't a bad athlete.
Good-looking guy?
Oh, a real James Dean. And he had eyes for Sadie. That poor farm boy who couldn't play on the team versus the star quarterback. Shit, what kind of contest was that?
Hey, who wouldn't want all this?
And yet, when I came home, there she was.
Where was Gary? He served too?
Gary was too rich to serve. Star quarterback had some health exemption. Didn't get drafted.
Uh-huh. So then, where was he?
Running his dad's business. Trying to win her heart. Didn't work. Well, she invited him to the wedding. I didn't want him there, but, well, you know Sadie.
Uh-huh.
Well, Gordons own most of the property around here, including the 200 acres surrounding that hill.
Right.
And he built a house.
How? Wait. That house?
The very same.
Looks like it was a mansion.
It was.
Why'd he build it?
I don't know. To remind her what she'd given up, maybe?
So, what happened to the wealthy Gary Gordon in his mansion?
Well, he built it one year. Must have been 1966 or so, and he went inside and he just disappeared. Then one night, about a year later, there was a storm and boom, no more Gary Gordon.
No more Gary Gordon. Huh.
Maybe he was lonely too.
Maybe. Yeah. All right, you win. What next?
What do I got? Who the manure milk that goes feed the horse? That's clearly the horse. I like that I'm doing them in like a reverse order. What's over there? Neat. It's a nice car. Limb? Oh, left mouse button. It's like, what the fuck? Limb. Just flail my arms. I always wonder what it's like to like live on a farm. I don't think I have the responsibility for it. I do like the art style here. It kind of reminds me of The Walking Dead. It reminds me a lot of The Walking Dead, actually, because the first game, you straight up go to a farm. Looks kind of like this. It was a dairy farm though, so you know, no barns really, but yeah, fuck it. Let's just do it first order. The horse.
Don't you own a tractor?
What's that got to do with anything?
Well, pigs I get. Goats too. Some fellas have chickens and cows, and that's all well and good, but what's the point of a horse?
Horses are God's most beautiful creatures.
What, you just keep a horse around because they're beautiful?
Horses belong
Yo.
on farms.
Uh-huh. You know, you haven't got a saddle for him, so you don't ride him. He's no racehorse. Can't eat him. What's the point?
I don't see the point in a farm without a horse. Gotta have a horse.
And what's this about them being beautiful? Beautiful, really. Beautiful, he says. Spindly legs and bloated bellies and those weird teeth. Sleep standing up. Who sleeps standing up? Something wrong with that. Aren't you gonna say something?
One day maybe this fella will understand. There you go. There you go.
To me, I mean.
I keep apples here because he likes them. Likes the salt lick too.
Where's the salt
Want
lick?
to feed him one?
Nah, I'm good.
Feed the apple to the horse. I've been doing that the whole time.
Suit yourself. All right, here you go, boy. No, I gotta get going. Why don't you walk on out to pasture, rest a spell?
Oof. Horses give me the willies.
Can't see why.
Horses are cute. They're not the cutest thing in the world, but horse is good. Animals are nice. Animals are good. I was talking to a coworker of mine, and they were like, I love dogs, but I hate chihuahuas. And I was like, what? Why do you hate Chihuahuas? Because they're mean and they bite and all that. And I'm like, it's kind of weird for you to like judge an entire like breed because of your bad experience with it. And then she goes on to say, I've always wanted a pit bull. They get a bad rep, but you know, it's all about the owner and stuff like that. And there's no level of irony in the conversation. It's just no sense of irony. I'm like, did you just hear what you just said like 10 minutes ago?
You know, back home they call you the pig farmer.
That description is apt.
And yet, you also have goats.
I do also have goats. And a horse. And I had a dog. Tried cows once. Bill raised a newt or something, but, well, it died.
Well, most people have, I don't know, chickens and cows. You got goats.
Is that, judgment I hear?
No judgment, no. Just wondering, why goats?
Goat milk.
There can't be much profit in that.
Well, there's enough. Besides, I had you.
Have. You still have.
As I've said, I'm no longer interested in that particular revenue stream.
We're the ones who sever ties. And you don't want us severing ties.
I believe I made myself clear.
You know, I feel like we've had this conversation a couple of times now, and you still don't seem to get that I'm done with this line is just going to look really silly at the end of the day.
You were asking me about goats.
Yeah, goats.
I like them. They like to play. They'll eat just about anything. The milk's an acquired taste, but I've always liked the cheese. Meat's good with the right curry. A friend taught me that a while back.
So, you like them for the utility?
I like them because they're playful. Want to get started?
Started?
Milking.
Oh, hey, really? I've always wanted to try that.
Well, here's your chance. My goats are smart. They know what's up, so they'll just walk up. Here they are. Come on. Now they'll just take their positions here like they should. Got feed all ready for them. Just you take a seat there.
Not very comfortable.
Suppose not. Well, now that we're seated, all you gotta do is grab the teat with your thumb and forefinger.
And pull?
No, don't pull. Just sort of rhythmically squeeze with the rest of your fingers. Gently pushing the milk out.
Like this?
Just like that, yes. All you gotta do is do that till the goat's out of milk.
Huh. This is kind of nice.
I found it relaxing.
Well, I think I could get used to this.
Why don't you?
Say what?
Why not get used to this?
What, and come work with you?
Sure.
Yeah, some folks might take issue with that.
Can't make everybody happy. Better than ending up shot.
Hey!
Oh, gun down. Life over just like that.
I usually get to shoot back.
Well, we all wind up dead in the end, don't we?
I'd rather live as long as possible.
What good is that?
Living?
What good is living if you ain't happy?
Who says I'm not happy?
I'm not.
You could be.
I don't think I could. Well, that does it for the goats.
Still, thinking about what I've been saying?
I haven't stopped.
Changed your mind?
No. No, I have not.
What's the wheelbarrow for?
Hauling.
Hauling what?
Shit.
Ah, And what are we supposed to do with this crap?
We are going to fertilize. Well, not now, it's October, but we're going to put it in a nice big pile where it belongs.
We?
Well, you did say you wanted to help.
Yeah, guess I did.
So help. Pick up that shovel over there. We'll shovel it in, wheel it out, dump it, and we're good.
And you do this every day?
Mm-hmm. Most every day.
And you want to keep doing this every day?
It's my routine.
Shoveling shit?
Someone's got to do it.
That isn't the first time you've told me that.
Oh, yeah?
Vietnam.
Yeah.
You know, I did some digging on you. Personally, not the shit kind. Know what I found?
I reckon you'll tell me.
You went back. What happened that day in the valley?
You saw the report. I'm not going to talk about it.
Come on.
No.
Suit yourself. But you got a medal. You didn't have to go back. Had a wife and kid here. At a time where most of us were trying to figure out how to stay home. You went back.
You going somewhere with this?
Think it'd be fun if you told me why? While we're shoveling shit?
I was recon. You know that, I reckon. I was in the hospital, staring at the ceiling, magazines next to me on the bed. And I had this, moment. A moment of clarity.
A revelation.
Uh-huh. And the revelation was this. Them protesters weren't doing a damn thing. The hippies and the bands weren't changing anything. You know who was?
The Vietnamese? The Russians?
No. The news. You hit someone hard enough day in, day out with the realities of war, pretty soon they'll tire of it. Vietnam, that was our first time that close to war. So, I figured,
You figured?
you ain't the only one of us who's killed people.
Why do you think I offered you that job back in '74?
Turned it down for the same reason I went back. They were telling us our patriotic duty was to go and fight for our country. Well, that's what I did.
You weren't recon when you went back, though.
Went back with a camera. Talked them into letting me help with the press, keeping them safe and all that. So I did. And I took pictures. Took all the pictures I could. I fought in a different way.
Did you win?
We pulled out of Nam, didn't we?
Mm-hmm. And now you're here. Great big war hero. Shuffling shit.
Yeah. Shoveling shit. You know what this is?
Tree?
Well, you ever seen a tree like it?
A tree's a tree.
Remember all them roasted chestnuts at Christmas?
Oh, sure. I mean, I kind of figured. Been by often enough to see the chestnuts myself. Why? Is it special to you?
This is an American chestnut tree.
Oh, hey, Saul. He's telling us about his American chestnut tree.
American, huh? Thought they all died.
What?
You remembered.
Pays to remember things.
Like the American chestnut.
I'm a little lost here.
Oh, a couple weeks back, Saul came by, said you couldn't make it. Business as usual. Saw I had a bucket of chestnuts, asked if pigs could eat them, so we got to talking, and I told him about chestnuts.
Uh-huh. And what did you learn?
Pork tastes better with chestnuts. And most American chestnuts had died off.
It's true. Long before you or I was born, the American chestnut was prized for the quality of its wood.
Jimmy'd like that.
Oh, that he would. But this tree, there ain't many like it left. American chestnuts almost all died out because of the Asian fungus around 1900 or so. The chestnut blight.
That's what, like a couple 100,000 trees?
Oh, billions. 4 billion trees snuffed out practically overnight. Well, lumberjacks suddenly out of work in places like West Virginia. Those economies never recovered.
I thought West Virginia was coal country.
Logging, too, before it all died off. Now there's trees like the General here making nuts year-round. And I feed them to the reds, and they grow nice and fat and tasty.
Seems lonely.
Well, it is lonely. Heartbreakingly lonely. To know everyone else you ever loved has passed on. So, I look after him, and he looks after me, and I don't know. Sadie and I, we talked about being buried here, you know.
Changed your mind?
Brody's grave was enough for me. But, I don't know. I thought about having him moved. I don't know.
You've got plenty of years left in you yet. So, what's the moral of the story? With the trees, I mean.
Be wary of outsiders.
Heck no. There are trees out there that are blight resistant. Maybe even the General here, but I'm too afraid to find out. With enough time and horticultural understanding, we could have done something.
Preserved all these trees?
Maybe we could have. They are magnificent. It's just I don't know. I wasn't trying to teach you a lesson or anything.
But you did make a point of it.
I did do that. It's a part of me is all. And God willing to live for 100 more years. I don't know. I see myself as a custodian of sorts. And one day
Saul, go ahead and wait for me at the van. Hey. Hey. Look at me. You're thinking about dying. Thinking you can pass this responsibility off to someone else. You don't have to do this. Give the tree another decade of your time.
Well, the time of my demise aside, someone ought to know about the tree.
Jimmy'd love to know about this.
Oh, Jimmy would cut it down.
He would.
Please. Don't tell him.
Hey, I'm good at keeping secrets, but Jimmy's Jimmy.
Please. Let me rest here. And if there's a way to... Oh, I don't know.
Okay. Hey, you got more to show me, right? The garage, huh?
No tour would be complete without the garage.
I have to ask, why a sports truck?
I think they're called coupe utility, but, you mean why not a sports car?
Yeah, I mean, I always figured you'd have a midlife crisis like the rest of us. Sports car, motorcycle, an affair, something like that.
Couldn't really say why I love these so much. Saw mine one day, fell in love.
With that?
Mm-hmm. Had to bring her home with me.
I'll admit, it has a charm to it.
But she won't run.
No? Well, pop the hood. Let's take a look.
You're serious?
Sure. Already had my midlife crisis.
Motorcycle?
Sports car. And these puppies, well, you know, they're similar enough. Some of them even use the same engine. We can figure this out.
All right.
Now, let's see here. Can you get me that drop light? My eyes aren't what they were.
Sure thing.
Thank you.
Saul's a good kid.
What's that?
Saul was a good kid. I like him. It was nice him coming by.
Yeah? That's good to hear. Never met anyone with so much promise.
Never?
In my entire life. Saul's dad was a good man. I think his kid had it. As a boy, he was too soft. But then he got older, graduated college, really came into his own. Eager, more capable than he knows.
Great listener.
Can you believe we were his age once?
Hard to admit.
When I was young, I thought I knew everything.
Yeah? And now?
Today I learned from you and him about chestnuts.
Well, learn something new every day, I suppose. You check the spark plugs?
Give me a second. What about your boy?
Bill? Oh, he's fine, I guess.
You guess. Yeah, how old is he again?
Born in 60, so, 32 as of September.
Huh. Roy would have been about his age.
Yeah?
Yeah. Wow. What's this about you and Bill?
Oh, he don't want to talk to me no more.
What? Bill? Tow-headed little guy? Always friendly and outgoing? That Bill?
It's about Sadie.
Ah.
Yeah.
Hey, mind if I ask you a completely unrelated question?
Hmm?
What's with the airplanes at your neighbor's place?
Oh, Chuck's farm.
Chuck? Huh. Yeah, what's with all the planes? There's no runway around here.
You know how farmers are. Hey, have you checked the air filter?
Yeah. And yeah, I know how you are. You got plenty of junk too, but I've never seen anyone else with, what are they, World War II bombers or something?
I think he has a B-36.
No kidding.
You got no idea what a B-36 is, have you?
Have the foggiest.
Well, a B-36 is a big old bomber made out of magnesium. Biggest America ever had. Took 2 train tankers to fill one up. And you could fly from Monday to Thursday without refueling.
So why does Chuck have one in his backyard, plus all the others?
Asked him about that once.
Okay. Wire's loose here.
Where?
Right there. So, what'd he say?
Oh, dead navigator came to him in a dream.
What?
Mm-hmm. Dead navigator from the Korean War came to him in a dream, said the planes were in danger of being lost, and it was up to Chuck to save them.
So, Chuck's crazy.
Well, eccentric maybe, but, yeah. Do you believe in ghosts?
If I did, I'd have a different job. Why, do you?
I figure we all move on in some way. Energy is neither created nor lost and all that.
So you're saying a dead navigator came to a farmer in the middle of nowhere, no offense, and told him that it was his job to preserve airplanes?
Yep.
So now there's a bunch of planes on a crazy coot's farm.
And he keeps them safe. Can you think of a better place for him to be?
Well, want to try running it?
Nah. I trust you.
Suit yourself. Where to next? Shotguns, huh?
I always liked shotguns.
Liked?
Still do.
I like revolvers myself, when it's for sport.
Got a few of those.
Oh yeah? What's your favorite?
Them big slab-sided ones. They have a career. What about you?
Nothing special, really. 357s when I can. But shotgun.
Yep. Figured we could shoot some skeet. Always liked shooting skeet. Taught Bill to shoot this way.
You're a good father.
Could have been better.
Name a father that couldn't. So, how do we do this? Who's going first?
I'll go first.
All right, then. This is more my speed. Hanging out, shooting guns. Maybe a few beers next time.
I'm not sure guns and beers mix, friend.
Sure they do, like peanut butter and very dangerous chocolate. Next time. Trust me, next time.
And there isn't gonna be a next time.
Oh, there's always a next time.
This is it. After today, we are done.
I've tried to tell you. I keep trying to tell you. There is no out. There is no done. Keep doing this. You never do anything again. It's permanent. Kaput.
And it's kaput.
You don't mean it.
If that's the way it's gotta be.
You have a choice.
You haven't listened to a word I've said.
I've been listening. I've been listening all morning. I've been listening to you talk about being sad and lonely and refusing to listen to reason.
I have my reasons,
Your reasons aren't any good.
but they're mine.
Walk me to my car. So, this is it then.
It is,
Why? Why are you doing this?
because I need to.
We're friends, goddammit. You don't get to get all stoic on me. I know losing her was hard, but there's gotta be something. Gotta be.
I can't take care of the farm like I used to. There isn't much point anymore.
So sell the farm. Move into the city. Meet someone new.
Do you believe in hell?
What?
Do you believe in hell?
I'm not scared of hell, if that's what you mean.
I didn't ask if you were scared. I asked if you believe.
I don't know.
Well, I do. And I think doing this, I think that's where I'm headed.
And what? You think you can buy your way into heaven?
I can't take back what I've done. What I can do is do something right,
Why?
because I want to see her again. That's all. I just want to see her again. And I figure I'll do one right thing with my life, just one thing. Maybe I'll get to see her again. One more time.
And this is your one right thing.
It is.
How do you know? How do you know if any of this is true?
I don't know. But I got the notion, and the notion's got me. So, least I can do is tell you adios.
Just like that.
What else is there to say?
Not much, I guess.
No.
All right, then. Have it your way. I'll be back this evening. You get an afternoon. Do whatever you gotta do. Just, leave the door unlocked.
I can do that.
Adios, friendo.
Be seeing ya. Come on. Nice catch. Come on. catch. Come on. Come on. Nice catch. Come on. Ooh, nice catch. Come on. Nice catch. Come on. Nice catch. Come on. Ooh, nice catch. All righty. Come on now. Come on now. That's a good
That work again? Okay. Jesus, what happened?
Brung you an apple. Granny Smith. Just like you like. Good boy. Good boy.
Get all the apples in the world.
Real good to me. You know that? Brought me a lot of good luck. Good times. Without you, I don't, I do not know. I want to thank you. I want to thank you for all you've done. Gonna go ahead and leave the barn door open behind me when I go. You want to leave, you go find someone else. I figure I'll just, I'll leave you to it.
Have more apple. Oops. I can't. No. Can I eat it? Alright. Never mind.
Hello?
Hey, Edie, it's...
Oh, hey, you. How are you doing? You know, I was just talking about you with Garth the other day. I said, Garth, you know, we ought to visit.
Yeah, Edie, listen, I don't mean to interrupt. It's just, I'm on a tight schedule, and I need you to do me a favor, right?
A favor? Sure. What you need?
I'm going to be out of town for a few days.
Oh? Finally taking my advice and visiting family?
Oh.
I was wondering if you and Garth could make sure the animals were fed and watered, that kind of thing.
Oh, sure. We ain't got much going on.
Thanks, Edie. Listen,
Evan, what are you doing? Get down from there. Sorry, cats. Anyway, what were you saying?
Oh.
Yeah, the animals. I got them fed and watered for today. They should be good for tomorrow, too. But if it's too much of an imposition...
Not at all. We're happy to be imposed upon. You've been a good neighbor for so long. I'm glad you called me today. In fact, just the other day, I said to Garth, if we don't visit, then we should host. Reach out, say hello, put together a little neighborly get-together. And you know what he said? He said, well, Edie, if we did that, we'd just... Oh, you know what? Let me go get him for you. It's better when he tells
Thank
it.
you, Edie.
Hey, you should drop on by next Saturday afternoon. We're going out to the Harvest Festival with the grandkids, and I know how lonely it's been, what with Sadie gone and all. You should come with.
Well, I appreciate the thought, Edie. I don't think I'll be back in town by then, though. Sorry.
Oh, that's too bad. It's been real nice seeing you coming back to church again.
Oh, it's been real nice being welcomed back. But now I gotta go. Chores and such. You know how it is.
Oh, I sure do. Well, come on over sometime. Just got some gooseberries in. We're making pies, and we'd love to have you. I know they're your favorite.
That they are. Gotta go now.
See ya.
Oh, he didn't say it. I wonder if that was intentional. Call the boy.
Bill, well, now how'd you know it was me?
Caller ID.
I don't know what that is.
It's new. Tells me who's calling.
Huh, that's some real fancy stuff you got there.
Uh-huh. Listen, I'm busy. Why are you calling?
Oh.
Just, hadn't talked in a while.
And whose fault is that?
Can't we talk?
What is there to say? Hi, son. How are the grandkids?
How are they?
Oh, by the way, I put your mom in a rest home so I could stay there and take care of my goats and my pigs and my stupid horse. Because God forbid, I actually look after my sick wife.
That's not fair.
You put her in a home. You decided she wasn't good enough for you, and you put her in a home.
Oh.
I didn't know what to do. The doctors there, they would.
How hard could it be? Alzheimer's isn't some terrifying boogeyman. It wasn't it you who told me to stay with the ones you love, no matter what? So, what? You didn't love her anymore?
Oh. Jesus.
Don't you dare.
You gave her up. You gave her up to doctors and nurses. You know what they do to people in homes.
It was the best home money could buy.
Money. You and your damn money. Cared more about being a rich pig farmer than the people you were supposed to love.
Hey, I loved you both. I did everything for you, everything.
Yeah, right.
Bill, I didn't want this call to...
You wanted to put my mom in a home. So I'm not sure what you want matters.
Bill, I just called to say...
Say what? Sorry? Did you know I visited her? I found out where you put her, and I visited her.
Oh my God.
They said you visited sometimes.
She was my wife, Bill.
She cried, Dad. She cried. She wept and she sobbed and she kept asking me where you were. She was so scared, Dad. She was so scared. She wanted you to take her home.
The doctor said sometimes she was lucid, but I couldn't.
She was lucid, Dad. And I held her hand as she sobbed herself to sleep. And I kept holding her hand until they told me I had to go. Where were you? Taking care of your precious chestnuts? Feeding your heritage breed pigs?
No, Bill,
Save it. Talk to your goats or your pigs or whatever it is you do.
I just wanted to tell you goodbye, Bill. I've got some of your stuff all boxed up. If you wouldn't mind coming by in a few days to pick it up.
We'll see.
Goodbye, son.
You'll never make this right, Dad.
I'm still trying.
Jesus. Oh.
Hey, buddy. How you been? I know I don't drop by as much as I ought. Ain't got an excuse. We had some good times, Brody. I remember Doug coming over, remarking on your coat. Said you didn't need no training. He'd put you with his bird dogs and you'd figure out what to do. Well, he was right. You came waddling over out of that lake, duck in your mouth, proud as everything. You wouldn't give that duck up. But you got the hang of it. Doug and I, we had a falling out. Haven't spoken to him since. Well, he passed, so no point reminiscing, I guess. Good boy. Good boy. You want to know something, Brody? I always believe dogs go to heaven, because all dogs is fundamentally good. Even the mean ones, they're good too. They're just, hurt or starving or, sick or scared. So, I know where you are. And I know Sadie's probably with you right now. I done wrong, Brody. I done a lot of wrong. And I don't know if I can make up for it. I want to tell you I'll see you soon, but the truth is I do not know. I don't know if I was good enough for you. Or her. I don't know if I did my best. So, this may be goodbye. I love you. And I miss you all the same.
I hope I did that right. Oh. I didn't think that dog bit would get me, but it's too soon. Alright, never mind. Chop 4 carrots, chop 1 onion. Can't I just chop it from there? Will it let me? Always wanted curry. Uh-oh. Oh no. Okay. I was gonna say. Come on. Oh, Jesus Christ. Oh, the dining room. You're stupid. I can't eat? Oh, okay, I guess I should grab the thing first. Oh. Boy. Oh. That was quick. DC Douglas? That sounds so familiar. Doc Burford, there you go. And Cameron. Oh, more of them, huh? Oh, it's a little team now. I know back then I thought it was 2 guys, but apparently it's a whole team of them. Never mind, I was mistaken. Still, it's like, you know, I mentioned earlier that I played this game because I heard it on the Castle Super Beast cast, and they actually got him on as a guest, Doc Burford as a guest on the show, and just kind of, you know, what his point, and not his point, but basically like why a game like this and all that. And it was a lot of like limitations in their development power, and but also the desire to make a game that is like this interesting and wow, you know. Yeah, that was Adios. I kept being told about it's funny because they mentioned like how the end of the game there's like 1 or 2 scenes that'll just like get you, right? One of those. And yeah, the dog got me. Not that that's a bad thing. I think it did its job, but I didn't think it was gonna get me. I came in here fully prepared, knowing about 1 or 2 scenes at the end that was gonna get you, right? And I think I did it in the order that the game intended. But the bit about the dog, it was just a little too just hit a little too close to home, I guess. It's too recent. I think it's always gonna be too soon, you know. Especially considering the fact that I was just talking about this with a friend of mine the other day, actually, how I used to be pretty emotive as a kid, like very, very emotive. Like the littlest things would get me, but I don't know what happened, but like over the years I just kind of I don't know if it's a suppression or if it's just I just stopped. It felt like I pushed it down, you know, and things that I thought I should care about no longer got to me, if that makes sense. It felt like things that I should be upset about, I kind of just went, oh, that sucks, in that same tone of voice that I'm talking right now. And there's a part of me that got really worried, you know, like, is this gonna be me? You know, is this gonna be me forever? Is it gonna be, is nothing gonna get me anymore? But literally what happened was I was watching a video from a movie, I don't know if it's a documentary or if it's a collection of short stories, like an anthology or whatever of dogs. It's called All About My Dog, and there's a bit that gets used a lot. Apparently, it's a very popular clip called All About My Dog Marimo, and it's a short 10-minute video. It's on YouTube if you want to go watch it. It's called All About My Dog Marimo. It's spelled exactly the way you think it is, and that one got to me. That's the earliest I remember, like, absolutely, like, bawling. I was on the living room couch. I remember it. It was just me and Charlie, and we were, like, sat on the couch. We were just, I think, alone in the house, I think, just because I think it was like a weekend and everyone else was out, and just cried for like big ugly crying too. And he was just looking at me like he could tell I was upset but didn't know why. And just kind of held him for like a really long time, and afterwards I took him outside, and we kind of just like sat out there, and you know, let him do his business. Sat in the hammock. Back then there was a hammock. I know I have a picture somewhere of that day, but because I took a picture and we just kind of like sat right in front of the sun too, just kind of, you know. And you get a dog, and you know it's gonna go before you do, or you know, that's the deal, right? But still, you put so much time and love and attention to that, and at the end of the day, you know it's gonna happen, and you know it. And I remember talking to a friend of mine like a few months before he passed too, that I was okay talking about it with it then, because it wasn't happening yet. Like, it was easy for me to talk about knowing, because I knew that whatever he had was terminal. It was heart failure. Like, I knew that I was buying myself like a few months at least. The doctors, I remember when I brought him in, told me exactly, like, I think like 8 months, you know, to a year. And he actually went like exactly 8 months after that visit, or something like that. It was, I forget what the number was, but I know that it was exactly the time that they said it would be. Maybe it might have been 9 months, but they told me that he's not gonna be around for much longer. And I think that I didn't think much of it, and I just wanted to make sure that as much as I could, that he lived comfortably, at least for as long as I was gonna have him. And you know, his medicine was expensive, but I did it. He had to take medication twice a day. I made the point of doing that every single day for months and months and months. And I understand that it's not a unique position on me. Like, I know that there are plenty of people who you know, who have dogs, who are taking care of dogs, that are always under constant medication, stuff like that. And I'm sure that some people had it tougher than I did, but this was my dog. This was my story, right? every maybe 3 or 4 days. Like he stopped eating like the regular dog food that we got for him. So I said, well, you know, let me dress this up, right? I started making some chicken because, you know, they said maybe his stomach's upset or something like that. He needs something mild. He seemed to really like the fresh cooked chicken that I got him. So that was his diet for like up until he went. And I remember the last time he ate, I brought him to the vet if they got really, really bad. You could hear it whenever he breathed. Like every few seconds he was like hacking and coughing. Like his lungs were filling up with water, and he was having a lot of trouble breathing. At the time, my car was like severely broken. Like one of the cylinders was just fucked. I drove 2 towns over to take him to the emergency vet, and you know they got him sedated, and they drained the liquid from his lungs, but they told me that he needed to stay there for the whole day. So I had to go come get him the next day. Of course, it cost like a lot of money. I thought about it for like all of 30 seconds. They were like, I think it was gonna be like, what, $1,200 for like the one night. I said, okay, just do it. Like I'm not gonna say no. Like, you know, get it out of him, and like, you know, give me back my dog, please. And so he stayed there for the night. It was getting to the point where he had always been kind of, you know, like the medication did help a little bit, right? But he was still hacking and coughing. I can't say for sure that we did the vets were very kind to me. They looked me in the eye and told me like this was like the best possible scenario for him. Like he was just he was gonna go no matter what, right? And that's hard to hear, because I feel like if I had done everything I could, that it wouldn't have come to that. You know what I mean? But anyway, this was like December. It was getting really bad. I think it was like, I want to say like the 12th or the 12th or the 20th. I took him in the first time because right after I gave him his medicine and he tried to walk back up to my bed, he just kept spinning in a circle because he was just so out of it, you know. He couldn't stand up straight anymore, and he kept spinning in a circle, and I just like crying, you know. Like I had to scoop him up, and like I had to sit him down because he was just gonna keep spinning until he was comfortable. I was like, no, you need to lay down. And I wrapped them up in the blanket, and I wrapped him up in a blanket, and I drove him 2 towns over to the vet, and the doctor was like absurdly cheerful. That was one thing that I always noted. The doctor was like absurdly cheerful, and I didn't take that personally, because I feel like if you're gonna be working at an emergency clinic like that, you're gonna have to get used to the idea that pets, loved ones, will die in front of you, right? And if you attach yourself too much to the animals, then I feel like if I were in that position, if I didn't treat it so callously, that it would be a miserable experience going to work every day, right? And to make that your living, I understand coming from his perspective that there's a level of distance that you want to give yourself from the animals, basically. And I didn't know what to make of it really, but I do know that at the time I didn't like it, especially because they gave me that in the entire vet staff, all of them, they kind of just treated it as like another day at the office, and I know that to them it was, and I understand that, but for me, it was me losing my best friend, because like I took him home that day, and he was just like very calm, kind of like looked at me, but he was like mostly just sleepy, right? I don't remember if I think no, I had the day off that day because it was just me and him the whole day, and I had ran out of the food, so I got another fresh chicken. I cut it up, boiled it, and then I cut it up into like little what do you call it? You scrape it with a fork, so that they're like in little bits and pieces. And every time I would cook it, he would be like waiting by my foot because he can smell it, right? He wants some. But I got him a fresh batch of chicken, and I try not to give him some because it's gonna spoil his dinner. But I gave him some, and we just kind of spent the night alone, pretty much. It was, I think it was like Christmas Eve at that point, or like the day before Christmas Eve. Yeah, it was the 23rd, because Christmas Eve I was working, but I woke up, and I woke up, and he was just like, and he was there, he was quiet, but like I could hear him like slightly crackling, right? And maybe I was overreacting, but I heard the crackling in his lungs, and I just kind of like panicked. I was like, I just took you to the vet, like what's going on, And maybe if I hadn't overreacted, maybe it would have lasted a little bit longer. But I don't know. I didn't know that at the time. And even at that, like how much longer, right? So I called the vet, and they told me give him the medication, and if you come back a few hours later and it's still crackling, then you need to take him back. And I didn't know what to do. I gave him the medication. I had to go. I left for work. My sister told me that she could still hear it, and so I just told my boss, I was like, look, I gotta go. And my boss, luckily enough, was he knows what it's like to like lose a dog. So he just told me, he's like, go, just do what you gotta do. I think his exact words was like, do what you gotta do. And so I walked out of the store, and drove home, right? Car was still busted, and I got home. It was just him alone, and he hadn't moved from the spot that I left him in when I left for work, right? He was still in the exact same spot. I don't know if he moved there or anything, but he was just sat there. And I could still hear the crackling. And I took him to the vet, and at first it seemed like everything was going fine, which they were like, oh, don't worry, he's doing better now. We'll have him out in like an hour. So I just kind of sat there and waited, and then an hour passed, and I called again, and they're like, yeah, so he's having a lot of trouble breathing again, so we need to keep him on the oxygen, blah blah blah. Of course, they wasted no time telling me in the bill it was like another $1,000. I said, you know what? What am I gonna do? Just, whatever. Here, just take the money. Just fucking make my dog better, right? After that, I didn't say all that, but after that, he started posing to me the possibilities, like, oh, he's probably gonna go. You might want to think about putting him down. And that's when I was like, how do you go from like gouging me out of like $2,000 over the course of like 48 hours to just straight up like, oh, he's probably dead. You should probably just get rid of him, right? The callousness in that, I dislike that a lot. I get it, but at the same time, I'm just like, that shouldn't be the way you speak to me about my dog, right? And I couldn't do anything. It was Christmas Eve. I was working. I have 2 jobs. I was working both jobs that day, and I thought that I would have him home by like 7. I got there early enough. I thought I would have him home by 7 because they said they were only going to hold him for like a few hours. But then when they said it was gonna get worse, we're gonna need to hold him overnight. They said, and I was working an overnight shift, so I couldn't even sleep on it. Around like 3 or 4 in the morning, I kept calling every hour. It's like, how's he doing? Blah blah blah. And they were talking about like, you might want to think about putting him down. I had already cried about it in the car like hours ago, so I think I was just like, a little maybe dried up. So I just kind of just sat there. Hold on, excuse me. Back. Sorry, what was I saying? Um, basically, I spent the entire Christmas morning, like the early mornings of Christmas Day, thinking about that, and I sat in my room for a few hours, and then my mom finally showed up, and then I got a call saying, like, if you're gonna go see him, you gotta see him now. He's going. And I said, okay. Sped out, you know. My sister, my mom offered to drive me, but I had been making this trip 3 or 4 times within the past week. I knew where to go, and I knew the fastest, you know. I knew when to switch my lanes, blah blah blah. I knew when I needed to get in the exit lane, blah blah blah. I got there, and I still wasn't fast enough. You know. The last few days were filled with like a lot of like regret for me, right? You know, first one was like, if I had never taken him to the hospital, maybe he would have lasted a few days. If I got there a few hours sooner, I might have been able to say goodbye. And if I had known at the time that that was gonna be like his last meal that I was gonna give him, I probably would have gave him more. But I didn't know that at the time, and I remember coming home that same day and looking in the fridge because I kept all his food in a specific container with like a little piece of tape that had his name on it, just so that people wouldn't just like eat the chicken that I boiled for like a few hours, because I was like, this took a lot of time out of me for the day, especially if I'm gonna be there like 11 at night doing it, right, every few days or so. It's hard sometimes putting your love, care, and attention in something that you know is just gonna like pass on, I guess. I don't know how to describe it. But I don't regret it one bit. I feel like certain things in my life would have been a lot harder if not for having him around. So I don't know. I'm gonna be thinking about that for a long time. But that's all I got. Sorry to like depress everybody. I don't know how else to end it other than that. It's a good game. I like me a good I think Doc Brefford explained it like it's a walking simulator, but he wanted more verbs in the game, like doing things, like, you know, the horseshoe, feeding the apple to the horse, digging up manure and stuff like that. That way you stay lucid and engaged with the story, like you're listening, but you're also like doing things at the same time, kind of like how you would be if you were like doing the things in real life, right? It makes the thing go by a lot faster, but also provide content to you in that way, because this could easily have just been like a novel, right, or a story, but it might not have been as interesting to look at. I don't know. I think I think it's I really like these types of games. And if you enjoyed it too, it is on Steam. I don't know if there's multiple endings, but there are, as you know, there's like multiple text dialogues there. There's different things you can do. It is on, I think it's on sale, or at the very least, it's very, very cheap. From what I know, it's somewhat cheap. Am I allowed to look that up right now? Will that show up on? Will that show? No. If I go to the store right now, look at me. It is $18. It is not on sale, but it's also $18. So if you wanna experience it yourself just a little bit, definitely give it a shot. You know, it's got its own He's got his own thing. But I've talked for long enough, about as long as the game lasted, I think. So I think I'm gonna cut it here. I might do something else later on today, but I have another midnight shift that I need to get to, so I can't be up for too long, right? Thanks everyone that stopped by to see the stream. Adios. Doc Burford and his team are planning on making another game about this. He's calling it Adios 2, which I think is hilarious, but that's what it's called. Centered around the Hitman this time. So we'll see how that goes, and I'm excited what comes from this team. If you enjoy stories like this, number one hard recommend What Remains of Edith Finch. Absolutely. It is the same type of storytelling. It is almost the exact same type of like concept in the sense that it's a walking simulator, but it's interesting, I think, to me at least. So yeah, there's that. I don't know how to end it. Sorry for depressing everybody with a sad story about my dog. I love you, Charlie. I'm gonna go. Thank you all so much for watching. I'll see you guys on the next one. Until then, stay safe, take care, and peace out. Bye-bye.